then something else pops up. If it ain't one thing, it's another. And every time you keep on turning around, it's another problem. It's another situation. But can I tell you this? I believe that the Israelites had a moment of reflection. Well, they said, if God brought me through this, if he brought me through that, then he can bring me through this. I love this text. Why? Because not only did we see that they used the unfit place, but in Joshua 13 and 15, it says that as they approached the river was flooded. So you mean to tell me, God, you want me to overcome Jericho, and you send me to a place that is unfit for my destiny. You send me to a place where I don't know how I'm going to make it through. However, they step into the river anyhow. All right. Text says that the first people to step into the river was the priest with the Ark of the Covenant. If you know anything about the Ark of the Covenant, it is God's eternal throne on earth. Watch this, you're missing it, because the Israelites had to cross the river, but until they crossed the river, someone had to step first. And the first thing that stepped first was God's eternal throne. So in other words, when they stepped into the situation, God was at the front of it. So whenever you're in a situation, whenever you're in a problem, I dare you to take your Ark of the Covenant and step into the situation, because not only this, watch this, I love it, because what happened was that the river dried up as soon as they stepped into it. So it is an examination of their faith, because it shows that even though it don't look good, even though it don't seem good, I'm going to step in it even knowing that God's going to work it out, because it's in God's purpose, it's in God's plan, and it's in God's promise. So even if it don't look good, even if it's not fit, even if it don't seem right, I'm going to step with God first, because I know that he will direct my path. You know what I come to discover is that when you serve somebody that knows what you're going through, but it doesn't matter what you're going through, it's because of who you call on. Y'all didn't catch that. You missed your shout. You missed your shout because watch this, Shashara, you was confronted with cancer, right? You was confronted with cancer, and that was your what? But you looked up to the who, from which all my helps come from. Who? My Alpha and Omega. Who? The bright and morning star. Who? The God and God and God alone. Who? The one that works it out day and night. Who? The one that wakes me up in the morning. Who? I said I wasn't going to be before you long, because the truth of the matter is you're going to shout if you're going to shout regardless, and you're going to talk about me if you're going to talk about me regardless. But I just want to leave you with a word. Last but not least, in Joshua 6:13, we see that they're confronted with an unfamiliar praise. What makes it unfamiliar? Because the text says that the Israelites marched around the wall for 6 days once. But on the seventh day, 7 times. I'm going to be honest with you. Theologically, I can't tell you why they marched around that many times. But eisegetically, which means my own interpretation of thinking, I can tell you that what it means is that they simply obeyed God. Even when it don't make sense, I'm gonna still do it. Even if God tell me go run around this church for 5 days, I'm gonna do it, because why? It all makes sense if I just obey God. Listen, you gotta realize that working with God, it's not meant for you to make sense. It's not meant for you to correlate it in your mind, because if you know that God has the final say, why worry about it? Why stress yourself out about it? Why? But not only that, we see that God used them to march. All right. We don't know why they were marching, but when I did my research and as I dissertained the text, Pastor Pollard, what I came to find out, the reason why they were marching is because they were praying. All right. So you mean to tell me that typically they used to use chariots to fight, but this time they used prayer? So you mean to tell me that they use prayer instead of fist? Can I tell you the good news is that when prayers go up, blessings always got to come down. And although they wasn't looking for a blessing, they were just trying to get to the promised land. Watch this. When they prayed, the wall came down. And I don't know what your wall is. Your wall may be unhealthy relationships. Your wall may be problems. Your wall may be something that only God knows. But can I tell you, if you just pray about it? Because my grandmother used to always say this thing: big prayer, big power. Little prayer, little power. If you have no prayer, so why, if they were praying, if prayer has the ability to change things, Pastor Pickett, why would they march? The reason why they marched was because it was putting action behind their prayer. Can I tell you the most funny thing and the most interesting to me is that we always pray about it, but we don't act on it. You say you want a job, but you ain't put in the application yet. You say you want a husband, but you scared to go on a date. Come on. Prayer plus action equals results. Because had they not prayed and marched, the wall would have never came down. Not only that, but the text says they blew trumpets. It'll preach if you let it. The reason why they used the trumpet, well, no, that's too soon. They used the trumpet, which was a representation of a horn. And when I think of a horn, I think of the trumpet that you're played in the band. I think about what I use in my car to tell people to get out the way. I think of a ram's horn, but text says that they used a ram horn in order to make a trumpet sound. So, in other words, they used what they had to make a sound. And the reason why they made a sound was in order to let the enemy know that we've already got the victory. And you may not have a ram's horn, but good thing you got your mouth. And you ought to bless the Lord with your mouth. If that's all you got, you need to let the enemy know that you got the victory. Can I hear you say some noise? Can I hear you make some noise? This one, please be seated. Please be seated. Because this last one is going to blow you absolutely out of your mind. Because the text says that Joshua told the people, he said, don't shout till I tell you to shout. All right. You think I'm lying? Because in Joshua 6:10 it says, but Joshua had commanded the army, do not give a war, do not raise your voices, do not say a word until I tell you to shout. Then they cried out the city, circling it once. Can I tell you the reason why Joshua didn't want them to shout? Was because they had already had enough to shout about. Because God had brought them out of captivity. God had used unlikely people. God had parted the Red Sea. They had just crossed the Jordan River. So they already had something to shout about. And the good news is, watch this, is that Joshua tells the people to shout because after all the things they've been through, after the ups and the downs, when you shout, the wall's going to come down. All right. And the thing about it is that some of us been in church raising our hands, shouting unto God, saying, God, let the wall come down. God, do it. But it wasn't the time yet. But can I tell you, when Joshua ordered the people in verse number 12, he said, shout. So when they shouted, the wall came down. And I don't know about y'all today, but I've been confronted with some walls in my life. Some things that stopped me from getting where God had for me. The truth of the matter is, you look at freshman class president. And you look at all the things that I've accomplished, but little do you know, I have things and barriers and blockades too. The truth of the matter is, had they not shouted when they shouted, the wall would have never came down. And I'm so glad that they shouted when they did, because it was when they shouted the wall came down. And I don't know what you've been confronted with, but I can tell you that we all have something stopping us from getting to our promise. And can I tell you, one thing that stopped me from getting my promise was when I lost my brother, and I had to grieve for a little while. But I just started shouting, "God, on your man." And it wasn't until that I got confronted with a problem in school, and I didn't know how I was gonna make it out. But I just started shouting. And then I started to get around the wrong group of people that was unhealthy for me. But then I just began to shout it because God had already worked it out. Can I tell you, the good time to shout is if only you know what you've been confronted with or what's in front of you. You ought to shout for it right now. I don't know whether it's health related. I don't know if it's relationships. But what I do know, that are we there yet is a question you ought to ask yourself. Are we there yet? Ought to ask yourself. Because if you ain't got to the place God has for you, you ought to shout. Because the wall has got to come down. Can I tell you, one Friday, when they shouted, crucify him, and he died. Yes, he died. But early Sunday morning, they shouted, he has risen. Shout! Hold on. Because people think it's an initial sermon, but it's really a word from the Lord. Because watch this, if you evaluate your life and what you've been confronted with right now, we all got something to shout for. Your thing may not be your neighbor thing. Your thing may be a relationship with your daughter. It may be a relationship with somebody else that you need to get figured out for you. But can I tell you something, that when you shout, and the shout don't have to be a dance, but it's a cry unto God. Say, God, I need you. God, help me right now. Shout.